We're here with Kris Jones, the god of Pepper Jam networks. Kris, first of all, we were just talking about the World Series, and I'm Brazilian, so I have a question. Why are the World Series called the World Series when there are no other countries in it?
You know, that is probably the most difficult question I've had today. You know, I have no idea. I think it's probably comes to the fact that, you know, being a U.S. citizen, we think everything revolves around us, so everything we do is worldly. But I have no idea. There's probably some legend or some real good answer, but I just don't know what it is.
Thank you. That kind of clarifies a little bit, or at least you're in the same boat as me. Now, making this conversation slightly more relevant, you guys talked a lot about the importance of timing and buying and selling. How would you say someone can feel it's the right time to buy or sell something and actually notice it? It's so easy to say after the fact, but how will someone actually take action at the moment?
You know, it's a great question. So by timing, what I mean is that, you know, if you have an interested buyer or if you have someone that's willing to invest money in your company, you know, you want to make sure that the numbers are right, that the economy isn't, you know, driving a really poor valuation. Or if you're trying to sell your company, you don't want to sell it to somebody who isn't a good strategic fit. You know, some of the other panelists had mentioned that when you do find that partner, whether it be a venture capital firm or whether it be someone who's going to acquire your company, you know, you get the feeling that this is right. I got that same feeling when I sold my company last year to GSI Commerce. I just knew it was a good strategic fit. On the other hand, if you're negotiating the sale of your company or to raise money and you don't get that feeling, or if you get the feeling like, wait, I'm about to make a bad decision, you know, I think myself and the other panelists would probably advise to you know, to step out of the process and to reconsider raising money or selling the company in the future.
Now, you founded multiple companies. If someone wants to get started in this business and found their first company and actually create something that adds value so that they can eventually sell, how do you think they can start with that? Let's say they have $10 to begin with. How would they spread that $10 in order to make a valuable company that's worth selling eventually?
Leverage the internet. Leverage the internet and leverage a lot of things that are free, right? So I'm a big student and I guess a quasi-expert on social media and on viral marketing and word-of-mouth marketing. Well, last time I checked, Facebook is free to sign up. It's free to create a fan page. Twitter is free, obviously. You know, with you're only giving me $10 here, which is tough. Well, a digital book, you get okay, so you have $9.99 by Buzz Marketing. I believe it's available on Amazon Kindle. There's a great book on how you could take no money and get other people to talk about your stuff. So ultimately, you have to be, if you're going to bootstrap and you're going to be scrappy, you know, leverage what's already available for free. You know, I mean, it's the irony is that, right? If you have $100 in your pocket, and you're going out on a Friday night, you could blow that entire $100. If you go out on a Friday night, you only have $20 in your pocket. You're going to blow that entire $20. Is your night going to be all that much different? No. You kind of take what you have and you make the best of it. So.
Absolutely. What do you think were some of the main points that were made that people should walk away with from this conversation?
Mm-hmm. So, number one, there are benefits and there are pros and cons of raising money and or selling your company. One piece of advice that I gave, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm an entrepreneurial type of person, right? Some people look for stability. Entrepreneurs see stability and run, right? So, you know, one thing to keep in mind about when you look at whether or not you should raise money or whether or not you should sell your company is, you know, what are some of the pros and cons? If you're going to have a boss. In the past, you were independent. You were able to make decisions on your own, unilateral decisions, which feels good as an entrepreneur. On the day that you sell, especially if you do what I did and sell to a publicly traded company, you know, that all changes. And I'm not saying that's bad, but as an entrepreneur, it's not all that fun. Similarly, you know, raising money is the same, or at least similar, in that now you have other people that you have to answer to, and in the past you didn't. You know, there's nothing greater as an entrepreneur than having a successful exit. So, you know, it's easy to sit up on stage now that the four of us have raised money or sold businesses and give advice, but it's ultimately what your individual, as an entrepreneur, what your individual goals are. And I think one thing I was trying to share today is that for most of us, we want to do this again, and we want to do it multiple times. So it's a process. You know, you build up a company and you raise money, or you just sell it, and then you do it again, sort of the rinse-repeat model. But you know, I would encourage. The last thing I'll say is that I would encourage anyone who's thinking about either raising money or selling their company to really button up the organizational structure of their company and the financial regulatory structure of their company, such that if they are given an offer, they can make it through due diligence, and they could do it in an expeditious way, because the longer due diligence lasts, the less likely it is to actually close. So it's about sort of better understanding and making sure that the financial structures and the organizational structures are in place. So as I said, if there are any skeletons in the closet, and you want to raise money in the future or sell your company, it's best to address those skeletons now and make sure that you can kind of button that up and put things, you know, in the right direction, because you have to assume that they're going to come out in due diligence.
Got it. Thank you. You've shared some invaluable advice. I'm sure there are a lot of people in the audience and hopefully who are watching this who would like to be just a little bit like you someday.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.